I remember visiting the notorious Chino prison in California. This young fellow walks up to me and says, "You Christian?" "Man, back in Africa, we were all Muslim before them white people came and took us into slavery." "What?" Brother didn't know much about slavery or his own history. First, slavery is an age-old enterprise that for millennia had absolutely nothing to do with color. White Europeans enslaved white Slavs. In fact, that's where the word slave comes from. The Brits enslaved the Irish. There was rampant slavery all across China, India, huge slaving territory. In fact, some Asian nations actually had more slaves than citizens. What about Africa? Okay. Long before whites came to Africa, slaves were bought and sold all across Western Africa. The Hutus in Central Africa owned slaves. The famous Maasai in East Africa were notorious slave traders. My own tribe, the Baganda, enslaved other tribes. In fact, more blacks were enslaved by other blacks than were shipped to the Americas. It is the large-scale agriculture boom in the Americas that actually created this demand for more labor. We need more labor. So enter the African kings and chiefs. Hey, white man, we can give you all the labor you want in exchange for ram and for guns. Guns. So they start doing deals with the whites. Thousands of slaves per transaction. No, come on, Dennis. It's the white people who came to Africa, captured all the black people, and shipped them here. If you knew how vicious our warriors are, you wouldn't think that. You wouldn't think that white people could forcibly take 12 million Africans out of their motherland. It is our kings and our chiefs who procured and transported our strongest young men and women to the white slavers on the coastlands. We established the protocols. We led the negotiations. We facilitated the ugly 400-year transatlantic slave trade. We did it. Ironically, it is the white people, the English, the French, the Italians, the Spanish, the Dutch, the Americans, who decide it is wrong to enslave other humans, abolishing slavery worldwide. And guess what? The non-Westerners, particularly Arab Muslims, continued to openly buy and sell slaves for over 100 years after all slavery was abolished in the West. Okay, so back to my brother in Chino. He did not know that it is the Muslim Arabs who created the first form of large-scale slave trade. They traded over 2 million Africans across the desert, a number 6 times larger than all the blacks brought to North America. Has slavery been eradicated? And unfortunately not. It's still going on. The Taliban today holds sex slaves. They're called kanimat, or spoils of war, for their jihadis. Over 500,000 Uyghurs are picking cotton in China. There are thousands of sex slaves, not to mention hundreds of thousands of yayas laboring for food and shelter all across Asia. In Africa, we've got houseboys and housegirls practically owned by their masters. In Tripoli, Libya, right now, there are slave markets openly selling young men and women. Humans today are being trafficked across the United States southern border. So as we celebrate Black History Month here in America, can we please remember the nearly 46 million men and women spread out in 167 countries who are still right now suffering some form of modern slavery?